Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, softball fans of all ages, hello and welcome to the Carey Fields on the campus of the Beaverbrook Elementary School for today's beautiful afternoon MIAA softball matchup. It is the Walpole Timberwolves coming to town to face your Abington Green Wave. As always, I'm Mad Dog Matt Nelson. Pleasure to be joined alongside today by Dr. James Madden. You're in action a little bit later, so we might have to lose you if this game gets into the later innings. The Abington High School boys baseball team is taking on Cardinal Spellman in the Perky Bowl.
Yeah, the Perky Bowl, that was something that kind of has gained a lot of juice in the past 24 hours. It started
I don't want to take any credit.
It was started by Stephen Madden, Eddie Riley in the bench. They started calling it the Perky Bowl. Coach Praxis is coaching against his son, who is the head coach of Cardinal Spellman, who played professional baseball in the Chicago Cubs farm system. So it should be a fun one. A lot on the line, not only for our record, but for bragging rights in the Praxis family.
Well, that game starts at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 1 Pacific. This game starts right now. The Timberwolves, of course, the artist formerly known as the Rebels, kept the same color scheme, the navy blue and orange, a slick look. The Green Wave in their home green jerseys, dark gray pants, green socks. Let's meet the Timberwolves starting lineup. Ari Cruiser is the catcher. She leads off. Abby Kearns is batting second. Katie Powderly hits third. Nora Broderick is the cleanup hitter. Brookie Arena is batting fifth, a ground ball to second base. No problem for Callie Pino. And there is one out in the top of the first inning.
In Walpole is probably going to be one of, if not the toughest challenge this season for the Green Wave. They come in at 5-0, and they win by a significant margin in a tough league. They've played Braintree, Natick, big schools in Division 1 and 2, and they win, by 8-9 runs. So without a doubt, going to be a real tough challenge and no easy task for the Green Wave.
The Timberwolves are a Division 2 team. The Green Wave competing in Division 4, so it is quite the boost for the power rankings for the Green Wave, regardless of the outcome of this game. Brookie Arena is batting fifth. Caroline Doran is hitting sixth. Charlotte Stasinski bats seventh. Lindsay Jacobs is batting eighth, and Brianna Clemens bats ninth for Walpole. Swing and a miss, strike three from Shannon Varvitsiotis, who is in the circle once again for the Green Wave. Kiera Howley doing the catching for her. Vivian Bonner is at first base. Callie Pino is at second. The shortstop is Brenna Howley. Ava DiPietro back at the hot corner at third. In left field is Madison Perry. Center is Gabby Hockney, and right field being manned by Caden Lynch. Green Wave coming off back-to-back victories. The latest one over another good opponent, James, in the Norton Lancers.
Yeah, they traveled down to Norton, I believe, Wednesday morning for an 11 a.m. start. Shannon Varvitsiotis did what she always does in the circle. She racked up 14 strikeouts in a 9-3 victory. They had big performances at the plate from Maddie Perry and Caden Lynch, and they just had an all-around great team effort once again to move to 5-1 in the season and come riding hot in 3 straight wins into a tough opponent against Walpole.
Right before that was back-to-back victories over the West Bridgewater Wildcats in quite literally a home-and-home scenario.
Yeah, that game was originally supposed to be played at West Bridgewater Tuesday, but there was torrential rainstorms Monday night into Tuesday morning, so their field conditions obviously weren't ready for the game, so they had to move it to Abington. The Green Wave won in a game that got called early due to rain, and it was the exact opposite of today's weather. The Green Wave ended up winning 15-2.
That game featured Kiera Howley's first career home run as a member of the Green Wave. Another strong pitching performance by Varvitsiotis in that one. She only had to go 2 innings before Elsie Testa came on in relief. Katie Powderly is the Timberwolves' first base runner off of the first walk of the game allowed by Varvitsiotis. Hard slash down the first base line foul. This is Nora Broderick. Absolutely beautiful afternoon. 65 degrees, partly cloudy. The strong Washington Street breeze coming in. Here's a chopper to Pino at second. The easy flip to Bonner at first in time for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors in the top of the first inning. The bottom half and the Abington Green Waves first hacks of the day coming up when we come back. Brenna Howley will lead things off in the bottom half of the first inning for Abington. Gabby Hockney bats second. Callie Pino hitting third. Shannon Varvitsiotis naturally hitting cleanup. Madison Perry bats fifth. Kiera Howley is in the sixth slot. Caden Lynch bats seventh. Ava DiPietro hitting eighth. And Bella Abrams is batting ninth. Now for the Timberwolves defense. Charlotte Stasinski is in the circle. Doing the catching for her is Ari Cruiser. Still trying to piece together the lineup card that I was given. Did not have positions, so I'm trying to figure them out on the fly here. Katie Hurley's at first base. Abby Kearns is at second. Katie Powderly is at shortstop. Nora Broderick is at third base for the Wolves. Drop third strike. The throw down to first is in time for out number 1. And the first strikeout of the day for Stasinski. Also worth noting, for those keeping score at home, the Timberwolves employing the designated player today, so I'm looking for a number who is not necessarily on the field of play. Caroline Doran is in left field. Here's a blooper out to right. And Hockney is the Green Waves first base runner with a one-out single. Lindsay Jacobs is in center field. Brianna Clemens is in right. The designated player is number 14, Brookie Arena, by process of elimination.
You finally got there after a long search.
I had to bust the binoculars out of the car. So here's Callie Pino. Let's talk about some of her accomplishments on the season. One of the Green Waves' leading hitters. Here's a long fly ball. It's gone! A 2-run blast for Callie Pino.
There's another accomplishment for you.
I was just about to mention the cycle that she only needed 3 innings to hit. And she didn't give me the opportunity because she just hit her second home run of the season to put Abington up 2-0 in the bottom of the first inning.
Talk about someone who mashes the ball. Callie Pino, got a chance to watch a couple of their games. Every single game I've been to seems she's 2 for 3, 3 for 4. She went 4 for 4 hitting for the cycle in 3 innings on opening day, and she just launched her second home run of the season to give the Green Wave a 2-0 lead in the first inning.
And this, of course, coming after spring that was spent recovering from a broken wrist that she sustained during hockey season. Great start to the season for Pino. The Green Wave have a 2-0 lead for Shannon Varvitsiotis. Speaking about people on the Green Wave team who can mash, I believe she's got a home run on the season. She's also got 2 triples, if I'm not mistaken. Going to be approaching 10 doubles on the year. Fouls this one off to the backstop.
And the Green Waves lineup really seems they all really mash 1 through 9. It seems Not many teams in the South Shore League and really in just high school softball in general can have that production 1 through 9 through their lineup. The 8-9 hitters always seem to be on base for the top of the lineup, and that leads to success at the plate for them.
Varvitsiotis lining it directly at the third baseman. 2 outs at the bottom of the first. Good play made by Broderick. Now it's Madison Perry, another one who contributed to the victory over the Lancers of Norton. Looks at a ball low end outside from Stasinski. The strong breeze, not as strong as it was for that second game against West Bridgewater, thankfully. Grounded back to Stasinski, the throw to first in time for out number 3, but not before Calipino and the Green Wave strike. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors. A home run for Calipino. We're headed to the top of the second inning. The designated player, Brookie Arena, will lead off the top of the second inning for the Timberwolves. Caroline Doran and Charlotte Stasinski also due up. The strong Washington Street breeze blowing from first base towards left field. We'll see how that carries the ball. It certainly helped Pino. This one flied to right. Oh, a diving catch! What a play by Caden Lynch!
For a bit of an early start, it seemed like the Green Wave came to play today. We had great pitching from Shannon Varvitsiotis here early on. Another great play by Caden Lynch in right field. And as we all saw last inning, Callie Pino launched her second bomb of the season. So the Green Wave, like I said, off to an early 2-0 lead.
Caroline Duran, the left fielder, steps in for her first hacks of the game. Backs out of a ball inside. What a diving grab by Caden Lynch for the first out of the second inning. Green Wave, a very sound team defensively. That's after they lost a couple of big pieces last season to graduation.
Yeah, they were another team. They had a successful season last season, and they went far into the playoffs, but I believe they lost to Case High School in the South Sectional semifinals. So looking for a bit of redemption. They have a lot of the same players as last year, and a couple new faces, 2 freshmen who bat first and second in the lineup. So, like I said last game, the Green Wave future is looking bright.
Of course, their normal starting catcher, Casey Bailey, out for the season due to the injury. Howley has done a phenomenal job for the Green Wave in place of Bailey. DiPietro making the switch over from shortstop to third base. She's handled that very well. The outfield has remained, as you've seen today, very, very fast. And they're able to track down just about everything between Hockney, Lynch, and Perry. Ground ball back to Varvitsiotis. Had the chance for 2. It is a sacrifice for Stasinski that moves Doran up to second. Lindsay Jacobs, the center fielder, in for her first at bat of the game. The Timberwolves 8-hitter. Big swing and a miss at the heater from Varvitsiotis, strike 1. Bunt dropped. It is picked up on top of home plate by Howley. Foul ball. interesting strategy, bunting with 2 outs.
Yeah, they're just kind of most likely trying to get something going. I imagine Jacobs has a little bit of speed, so they're just looking to maybe get first and third, give the Green Wave a bit of trouble on the bases here with 2 outs, and trying to get back the 2 runs they gave up in the bottom of the first.
Pitch from Varvitsiotis, swing and a miss. Strike 3, second strikeout of the day for the Green Wave pitcher. No runs, no hits, no errors. The Rebels strand a runner for the second consecutive inning. We'll head to the bottom of the second with the Green Wave leading 2-0. Kira Howley leads it off the bottom of the second inning, again hitting her first career home run in Tuesday's game against the Wildcats. Grounds out to third on the first pitch that she's seen today. Caden Lynch and Ava DiPietro are also due up for the Green Wave. Bella Abrams, he is the 9 hitter. She is due up fourth should any of the Green Wave reach base. Left-handed hitting Lynch. Looks at a ball upstairs. Fouled off, out of play. Now 2 strikes to Lynch. 1-2 the count for Stasinski. Strike 3 over the outside corner. Second strikeout of the game for Stasinski. Ava DiPietro for her first at bat of the game. Looks at ball 1 low. Fouled off the handle of the bat into the fence. 1-1. Another foul off. DiPietro is putting the bat on the ball. Faces a 1-2 count here from Charlotte Stasinski. Strike 3 over the outside corner. Third strikeout for Stasinski. The Green Wave go down 1-2-3 in order. We are headed to the top of the third. Doc, the Green Wave will see the 9-1-2 hitters of Walpole.
Yeah, and just throwing it out there, Stasinski had a great bounce back inning for Walpole, had 2 strikeouts in the inning, went 1-2-3, painted the black on, was it Kira Howley and Ava DiPietro. So Stasinski did a great job bouncing back from the first inning home run that she gave up and give Walpole a chance to tie it up in the top of the third.
2-0, the Green Wave lead it, heading to the top of the third, which we'll have for you when we come back. Brianna Clemens, presumably of no relation to the Rocket, will lead off the inning for the Rebels. Ari Cruiser, Abby Kearns also due up. Varvitsiotis back in the circle for the Green Wave. This one is fouled out of play on the first pitch of the inning. The car is very cautiously approaching the area where that foul ball just fell in the road. Here's a high pop-up to shallow left field. The catch is made by Madison Perry.
That was a nice job by Madison Perry. Those seem like routine fly balls, and they are, but when it gets that high, it seems like it was up even near the clouds. It was just hit sky high. It's hard to track it, especially on a really windy day like this. It can get lost in the wind gusts. So she did a great job
of spin
tracking
on it too.
Exactly. So Madison Perry did a great job tracking it for the first out of the inning.
Ari Kreuser's 0 for 1. She grounded to second base her first time up. Well, just high from Varvitsiotis, 1-0. Foul tip into the mid of Howley, 1-1. Large contingent of Timberwolf fans coming out to watch this game on the Friday of school vacation.
Great afternoon for some softball. We are, like we said, but just definitely a lot better than our last broadcast, which we had against West Bridgewater.
Cold. It said it was 50 degrees. That's a little bit sus. It's probably closer to 40. Cold. I think I saw some snowflakes, not to swear on the air. It was a nasty afternoon here on Tuesday. The first edition of the Perky Bowl was supposed to take place Tuesday morning. There was no way. First base over on the Tom Graham diamond was underwater. Kreuser reaches base for the first time on the third walk allowed by Varvitsiotis. Runner gets a running lead. Kreuser heads back to first base. No throw down from Howley. One and one now to Kearns, who struck out swinging her first time up. Bunt squared. It is foul. It went off of the umpire's stomach, and he'll walk it off. Runner on first, one out for Varvitsiotis. Katie Powderly is waiting on deck for the Timberwolves. I do apologize if I call them the Rebels. It's due to the muscle memory. They made the switch over the summer of 2020. High pop-up. This will go out of play down the third base line. I did see when they were the Rebels fairly often when I was working in Brockton. They were one of the higher echelon Division II teams that like to schedule a lot of non-Division D1 games. Usually pretty successful in those too.
Yeah, Walpole is a town that has really had both great success in baseball and softball, just a spring sport dynasty in both sports, and we see Walpole has another solid softball team coming in today, 5-0.
Swing and a miss, strike three. That is the third strikeout of the day for Varvitsiotis. And there are now 2 outs in the top of the third inning for Katie Powderly, who walked back in the first inning. Throw down to first, and scooting back safely was Kreuser. This one headed towards the right center field gap. It's going to one-hop the fence. Lynch picks it up. They're waving the runner home. No throw in. It is an RBI double for Katie Powderly.
And that hit was a laser right there by Powderly, the 3-hitter. A big frame, a lot of power, and one hop the fence and on a gap shot that drove in a Walpole runner who scored from first to cut the Green Wave lead down to 2-1.
Phenomenally solid contact on that ball. You could tell the second it was hit that it was, if it wasn't going to get over, it was going to land on the track. 2-1. That was the first hit allowed by Varvitsiotis. That puts Powderly on second for the cleanup hitter, Nora Broderick, who grounded to second base in her first at bat. Ground ball to Howley at short. The throw to first is over the glove of Bonner, and another run's going to score. Tie game.
Well, certainly a crazy change of events for the Green Wave. They were 1 out away from getting out of the inning. Now they have another runner on second base, and it's now a tie game after a... Would you rule that?
That was an unearned run on the throwing error by the shortstop.
So like I said, they were 1 out away from getting out of the inning, and then we saw an RBI double hit into the gap by Powderly, and then we had the error that drove in another run, so now it's a 2-2 game tied up here in the top of the third.
Well, coming in knowing you're facing an opponent that is 2 divisions above you, it's similar to you guys' game against the Sachems of Middlebar. There's a ground ball back to Varvitsiotis. That's out number 3. More on that topic when we come back for the bottom of the third inning. 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 costly error. It is all knotted up. 2 runs apiece between the Timberwolves and the Green Wave. Bottom of the third coming at you when we come back. Bella Abrams, the designated player, will lead off. 9-1-2 hitters due up for the Green Wave. Brenna Howley and Gabby Hockney are also going to the plate for the Green Wave in this inning. It is all knotted up. 2-2. James, as we were starting to talk about, this is very similar to the baseball team's game against the Sachems of Middleborough High School, which you know they're a very good team. You knew that coming in. They are a team that will capitalize on every little mistake that you might make, so you have to play a game and not make any mistakes.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, Walpole's a team that came into today 5-0. So any mistakes that you do make in the field or at the plate, a team as good as Walpole is going to really capitalize off of it. And we saw, they had an error with a chance to bring it in, only giving up 1 run, but we made an error, and so Walpole tied the game up 2-2 and put themselves in a better position than if they were in the dugout down 1.
The rising pop-up to very shallow center. A nice play by the Timberwolves shortstop to get out there and make the catch, Katie Powderly. 1 out for the top of the Green Wave order. Brenna Howley was a strikeout victim in her first time up. The drop third strike, 2-3 on that putout. Brand new ball game in the bottom of the third inning. Knotted up at 2 runs apiece. Charlotte Stasinski back in the circle. Here's a rising liner. That'll fall in the left center field gap. 2-hop the fence. Howley will stop at second. It's a 1-out double for the Green Wave shortstop.
Great piece of hitting there by Brenna Howley. She was able to get the inside pitch that was thrown really kind of at her hands, get the barrel out and drive that into the left center gap and get a double with the heart of the order coming up.
Gabby Hockney singled and scored on Pino's two-run homer. Looks at strike one from Stasinski. This one is a wild pitch. Holly will take third. That's the sort of thing that Abington has to do, is capitalize on any mistake. Here, it's going to score a run on the wild pitch, an RBI single for Hockney.
And like you said, capitalizing off mistakes, we had a wild pitch where the runner advanced from second to third with one out, and Gabby Hockney drove in the run with an RBI single, her second hit of the day. Both line drives to right field, so a great start to the day for Gabby Hockney as well.
The Green Wave retake the lead, James. 3-2. Kelly Pino. Now let's talk about some of her accomplishments. A cycle in only 3 innings. The Elias Sports Bureau tells me it's the only time in the history of sports that has happened. More than likely. She had a home run in the first inning. 2 runs batted in on the day. Probably about 50 of them on the season so far. It is Hockney on first base. The cleanup hitter Shannon Varvitsiotis awaiting on deck. Big swing and a miss. And Pino a victim of the strikeout. She wanted every last inch of that ball.
She sure did, and she was loading up. She saw a fastball across the middle of the plate, but it was a nice pitch there by the Walpole pitcher, and she's able to set her down and get the second out of the inning.
Shannon Varvitsiotis has some serious power. She lined out to third base her first time up. Looks at ball one outside, 1-1 to the Green Wave pitcher. 2 away here, bottom of the third inning. Ball 2 is up and out. Two one is outside. 3 balls, 1 strike now to Varvitsiotis. Should be a decent pitch to take a hack at. The 3-1 is fouled off out of play. Count moves full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, 2 out in the bottom of the third inning. Stasinski trying to keep it at 1 for the Green Wave here in the bottom half of the frame. And she will. Second strikeout of the inning, the 5th of the day. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. James, the Green Wave retake the lead.
And we were talking in the last inning about capitalizing on mistakes, and that's exactly what the Green Wave did. We saw a double by Brenna Howley to put her in scoring position, then a wild pitch to move her over to third, and then the other freshman that bats at the top of the lineup, Gabby Hockney, drove her in with an RBI single to give the Green Wave back their lead 3-2 in the bottom of the third.
6, 7, 8 hitters coming up for the Timberwolves in the top half of the 4th, which we'll have for you when we come back. Top half of the 4th, Caroline Doran will lead off. Charlotte Stasinski and Lindsay Jacobs also due up. The 3 of those hitters are a combined 0 for 2. There was a walk to Duran in the second inning. She grounds to DiPietro, who was expecting the bunt and was halfway in on the line. Great play on the grounder that got there before she had an opportunity to blink.
Yeah, it was a great play by Ava DiPietro. She was able to get the ground ball that seems like she was right next to the batter, so high velocity coming at her, made the nice play, threw over to Vivian Bonner for the first out of the inning.
Chopped to short off the end of the glove of Howley. That will go for a hit to Stasinski, the first time she has reached base today. A phenomenally tough play for Howley at short There will be a courtesy runner for the Timberwolves pitcher, Stasinski. Looks to be number 3 for the Timberwolves. That is Mackenzie Evans. Big swing and a miss. Howley threatens the throw down to first. Evans retreats. Bonner playing in on the line, expecting the sacrifice bunt. One and one now to Jacobs, who was a strikeout victim her first time up. The bunt's squared, it goes foul. That'll turn the bunt off with a ball and 2 strikes to Jacobs. The 1-2 from Varvitsiotis, fouled off of the catcher Howley. Another 1-2 pitch coming from Shannon Varvitsiotis. It is fouled off this time down the first baseline. Jacobs not going down without a battle. Another one, the third foul of the at-bat. This will be pitch number 7, James.
Great at-bat here by Lindsay Jacobs. She's doing a great job here at the bottom of the order, not making it easy on Shannon Varvitsiotis and running that pitch count up and giving her trouble. And hopefully for the Green Wave, Shannon was able to win the battle like she did and get the second out of the inning.
Well, it took 6 strikes, but finally down by way of the K goes Lindsay Jacobs. 4th strikeout of the day for Varvitsiotis, who is going to be averaging probably about 10 strikeouts per 7 innings.
And she had 14 the other day on Wednesday morning against Norton.
This is the 9-hitter Brianna Clemens hitting a high pop-up to shallow center field. Hockney calls Howley off and makes the catch for a scary third out, James.
Yes, and that was very close to a collision between Howley and Hockney, but they had great communication and a smart play by Hockney to call Howley off. She had the better angle at it as she's running forward when Howley was kind of backpedaling to the ball. So great play by Gabby Hockney to get out of the 4th inning.
4 innings, there has been 4 runners stranded, 1 in each frame by the Timberwolves. The Green Wave will send up the 5, 6, 7 hitters, Madison Perry, Kiera Howley, and Caden Lynch in the bottom of the 4th when we come back. Madison Perry grounded back to the pitcher her first time up. Looks at strike 1 from Charlotte Stasinski back for the Timberwolves for the bottom of the 4th inning. She has allowed 3 runs to this point on 4 hits. We thank you for joining us live on YouTube for this game and every game. YouTube.com/AbingtonCamo2351/live. We also appreciate you going back and watching these games. Here's a ground ball to second. The throw to first in time for out number 1. Gotten a couple of requests. Of course, the monumental occasion of Howley's first career home run last game. A couple of requests from her family. We appreciate you going back, watching the games. If you missed one of our live broadcasts, want to catch maybe a government meeting or some other Abington Cam programming, AbingtonCam.tv, the place to go for on-demand video live streams of our cable access channels, bulletin board information, and more. AbingtonCam.tv. Once again, I'm Mad Dog Matt Nelson. He's Dr. James Madden. Ground ball back to the pitcher. 2 away. I want to thank the great Dave Bowen for bringing you the sights and sounds from our perch out here in right center field. He's produced some great programming for ACAM. If you haven't seen the Easter egg hunt from the Senior Center yet, check it out on AbingtonCam.tv. Pop fly foul territory to third base. The play made. 3 up, 3 down, James, in the bottom of the 4th for the Green Wave.
And Studzinski's done a great job today bouncing back from innings where she's given up a run. She gave up 2 runs in the bottom of the 1st, bounced back with a quick bottom of the 2nd, gave up a run to make it a 3-2 Abington lead in the bottom of the 3rd, and she just had maybe a 6 or 7 pitch bottom of the 4th to get in and out and get back in the dugout and to go hit.
The Timberwolves will send up the top of their order for the top half of the 5th inning, which we'll have for you when we return. Ari Cruiser, Abby Kearns, Katie Powderly due up for the Timberwolves. Between Cruiser and Powderly, they are the 2 Timberwolves that have crossed the plate today. It is 3-2 in the top half of the 5th inning. Shannon Varvitsiotis, 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 error committed by the Green Wave. She does have 4 strikeouts. Green Wave lead at 3-2 in the 5th inning. Ground ball to Pino at second. The throw over to first is in time for out number 1. That was the 3rd 4-3 putout so far this afternoon. Pino with another one and the flip to first with some style, James.
And that's a tough play on the run, in the hole, especially off balance. She had to come across her body to throw the ball, but she was able to make the play and get the second out here in the top of the 5th.
Make that the 4th 4-3 putout on the afternoon. Always love to see the flick.
It's a bit of a sidearm toss, too.
Sidearm backhand action.
She does it all for the Green Wave.
Nice play. Typically something you see in the middle infield, but not to first base. You usually see a toss like that on the double play attempt. This is Powderly, who has reached base both times to the dish, a walk and that RBI double. This one gets away from Varvitsiotis. Ground ball, shortstop. Holly makes the diving stop, but she will not be able to make the toss to first. Great stop by Brenna Howley. Nora Broderick reached on the throwing error her last time up. That knocked in a Timberwolf run. She fouls off strike one. 1 on, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Another soft ground ball, similar to a bunt. Varvitsiotis takes it and fires down to first in time for out number 3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. Still a 3-2 Green Wave lead heading to the bottom of the 5th, which we'll have for you when we come back. Ava DiPietro leads off. Bella Abrams and Brenna Howley also due up for the Green Wave here in the bottom half of the 5th. Scheduled 7-inning game between the Walpole Timberwolves and the Abington Green Wave. DiPietro pulling back the bunt attempt on the wild pitch that got away. A large gap in left center field. DiPietro drops the bunt down foul. Two strikes. Eva will be swinging away here. She doesn't. Hits a shot to second. A diving stab. The throw to first in time for the out. The second baseman today, James, are just putting on a show.
Both second basemen, both for Walpole and for Abington, have just been playing very sound defensively. We saw Callie Pinot with a nice putout. Then we had Walpole second baseman Abby Kearns with a nice diving play up the middle to get the first out of the bottom of the 5th.
Bella Abrams popped to short her last time up. Looks at strike one over the outside corner. And not only a pitching duel, but a duel of the second baseman.
Who will get the last laugh?
Line shot on the comebacker. Stasinski knocks it down and then tosses to first in time for the out. A couple of great defensive plays here for Walpole to start the bottom of the 5th.
And that's what we kind of expected coming into this one against a Division II opponent that has had a lot of success early on in the season, is just very defensively sound, and that's what we've seen. They haven't made many errors, many mistakes, and the Green Wave are doing a good job of doing the same, and I believe they only have the 1 error. And the Green Wave, like we said earlier, can't have to limit their mistakes if they want to pull off a win against a very good squad in Walpole.
Brenna Howley doubled and scored her last time up. She is 1 for 2 overall. Big swing and a miss. At strike 2, 0-2 now to Howley. Stasinski looking for her second consecutive 1-2-3 inning, and she'll get it on her 6th strikeout of the day. No runs, no hits, no errors. The third 1-2-3 inning today for Charlotte Stasinski. We'll head to the top of the 6th. 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for the Timberwolves. Brookie Arena, Caroline Doran, and Charlotte Stasinski will bat for Walpole in the top of the 6th when we come back. Brookie Arena's 0 for 2. A fly out to right field. And a ground ball back to Shannon Varvitsiotis, who is back in the circle for the 6th frame. Ground ball to second base. Pino makes the play. The throw to first is low, but scooped nicely by Bonner for out number 1.
And like we said last inning, another put out by the second baseman, Callie Pinot, with her 5th of the game. A lot of assists going to rack up in the stat box for Callie Pinot today.
I'm still trying to get used to saying the Walpole Timberwolves. Bonner makes the nice backhanded grab on the foul ball down the first baseline. 2 outs. Of course, a lot of people are getting used to seeing the Timberwolves in the NBA playoffs, James.
Yeah, Timberwolves, the 7th seed in the Western Conference this year, and they did a great job, kind of turned the ship around, and see them in the NBA playoffs down 2-1 in their series to Memphis.
Gotta ask, what's going on with the scheduling in our series? This is a ground ball to second base. That one will get into center field. Hockney picks up. It's a 2-out single for the pitcher Stasinski. So what's going on with the scheduling in our series? First of all, the Brooklyn Nets have no business being in the playoffs. Second of all, who's in charge of scheduling at the league office that there's 3 days off between games?
I think that's mostly in part to the TV time, because I think they're trying not to put more than 3 games on a night, and just to get as much money from the TV as they can. And that's what we've seen. They played Saturday. Wait, what did they play? Sunday. They played Easter Sunday, then this Wednesday, and then they're scheduled to play Game 3 tomorrow night, which is Saturday.
6-4 on the inning-ending putout for the sixth consecutive inning. Every single inning, the Timberwolves have left one runner stranded.
And that's something the Timberwolves are going to look back on later in the day if they can't pull off this win and say, what could we have done better? It's kind of capitalize with runners on base and in scoring position. I remember in the top of the third inning, they left a runner on second base. So a lot of runners being left on base for them, and they haven't been able to capitalize on base runners.
Heart of the Green Wave order coming up, 2-3-4 in the bottom of the 6th. A fly ball to center field right at Lindsey Jacobs for out number 1. That off the bat of Hockney, who is retired for the first time today. 2 for 3 overall. Now it is Callie Pino, who's 1 for 2. 2 very drastic, different outcomes in her 2 at-bats. A home run back in the first, a strikeout in the third.
And we've been saying it all afternoon, but Callie Pino has done a great job this year at the plate, and as we've seen today in the field, so she seems to be, the utility player for the Green Wave. She does it all on both sides, and she's their 3-hitter for a reason. She has 2 home runs. She hit for the cycle in 3 innings, which, like you said, has never been done before. So Callie Pino looking to come up big here in the bottom of the 6th.
She's got a very large gap in the middle infield in which to work with. She'll hit this one out towards the right center field gap. It is going to be caught. Moving over, making the play, was Brianna Clemens.
A great play there by Brianna Clemens. A nice catch on the run into the gap where the center fielder
Couldn't have placed it better.
Exactly. Placed it in the gap in kind of in no man's land, but Brianna Clemens was able to track down the fly ball right off the bat and get the second out of the inning.
Shannon Varvitsiotis is 0 for 2 today. A line to third and a strikeout. Stasinski with 6 strikeouts today for Walpole. Big swing and a miss from Varvitsiotis. 1-2 now to the Green Wave pitcher. Similarly, a large gap in the middle of the infield. Outfielders deep. Hard grounder could be trouble here. Fouled off the backstop. Madison Perry is awaiting on deck should she get the opportunity here in the bottom of the 6th. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. The payoff pitch up coming from Stasinski. It is ball 4 low. That is the first walk of the game allowed by Charlotte Stasinski. And puts a base runner on for the Green Wave with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Madison Perry is 0 for 2, a ground ball to the pitcher and second base. Elsie Testa is the pinch runner for Abington. Testa coming on in, if you want to call it, relief of Varvitsiotis in that West Bridgewater game. Was not eligible for the save with the 13-run Green Wave lead at that point. Strike over the outside corner. Stasinski has been very good at painting the corners today, James.
Yeah, she's done a great job. Aside from, she gave up the home run and the double hit by Brenna Howley. But aside from that, she's done a great job for Walpole. And she's had, like you said, 6 strikeouts here. She's done a great job throwing on the outside part of the plate, not giving the Green Wave too many pitches to hit.
The Green Wave strand 1 in the bottom of the 7th. It's winning time. Heading to the last scheduled inning. Walpole needs 1 to extend. We'll have that 7th inning for you when we come back. Walpole, like I said, needs 1 to extend this game. Beyond the top of the 7th inning, they will send up their 9-1-2 hitters. Brianna Clemens, right fielder, will lead off. She made that great catch moving over into the gap in the bottom of the 6th. Might be a pinch hitter here. It is Mackenzie Evans bunting it foul. So the Timberwolves trying to get something started here in the top of the 7th. The Green Wave lead at 3-2. Battle of 2 Titans here. The Timberwolves 5-0 coming in. The Green Wave 5-1. Of course, the one defeat came at the hands of the Middleborough Sachems. A game in which it was tied in the bottom of the 6th. I think that was good for a strike from Varvitsiotis, but no call made by the umpire. That one loud and clear. 2-1 is the count for Shannon Varvitsiotis. Looking for another complete game. Fouled off the back fence. Count evens at 2-2. This one lined into right field. Leadoff runner is on, and the throw into second base wound up at third base, kicked by DiPietro back towards the pitcher's mound. No advancement, so no errors are given. Clemens on with no outs. Ari Cruiser is 0 for 2. She has walked and grounded to second base twice. Throw down to first. Not much of a lead there for, or rather that was Mackenzie Evans. Abby Kearns waiting on deck. Just outside. This one fouled off out of play. Nice catch made by one of the fans behind the Walpole dugout. Two and two. That is ball 3 upstairs, full count. The pitch from Varvitsiotis is shot into left. It'll drop down in front of Perry for a single. Walpole threatening with 2 on and none out.
And we've seen it, both the first 2 hitters of the top of the 7th inning for Walpole. Great 2-strike hitting for them. They were down. They had 2 strikes. We had a 2-2 count and a 3-2 count. They both were able to stay in the box and be competitive with 2 strikes and drive 2 line drives into right and left field to give Walpole a chance to tie this one up at the top of the 7th.
Abby Kearns is 0 for 3, a ground out to second and 2 strikeouts. She squares to bunt, drops it down, tagged out. But it advances the runners to second and third. Jenna Olam will head out to the mound for the Green Wave. James, what are you thinking?
Great play there by Walpole to have a sacrifice bunt. It's for Kearns, who's been struggling at the plate today. She was 0 for 3 entering that at bat, so she was able to lay down the sacrifice bunt with no outs and move the runners over to second and third with 1 out here and give Walpole a chance to not only tie the game up but take the lead.
Katie Powderly has reached base all 3 times. A single, a double, and a walk. She'll step in with runners in scoring position and just 1 out here in the top of the 7th. The cleanup hitter, Nora Broderick.
Something that's interesting to me is that they didn't intentionally walk her. You know, I had first base open with 1 out, and the 3 hitter, like you said, has reached base all 3 times, 2 for 2 with a single and a double. And with first base open and someone who you haven't been able to get out,
well, then you're
all
playing
afternoon.
with fire with the cleanup hitter, who he's in that spot for a reason. She's 0 for 2, but reached on an error back in the 3rd inning.
Coach Olam trusts Shannon to get herself out of the jam like she's done all season, so we'll have to see.
This one is low to Powderly. Middle infield, deep corners in. Upstairs from Varvitsiotis. That one is just high, ball 4. Bases are jammed. That'll bring up the cleanup hitter. Tell you what, James, the Green Wave could use a ground ball to shortstop here.
They sure could. They could just use a ground ball of anything. Ground ball or strikeout is really what they need to try and prevent the game-tying run from coming in here on the top of the 7th.
1 out. Evans on third, Cruiser on second, Powderly now on first base. Swing and a miss at an anxious-looking Nora Broderick.
Yeah, and she went up there ready to hit. Bases loaded, 1 out, down 1 run here in the top of the 7th, the cleanup hitter. and she swung at the first pitch. Nice pitch by Shayna Varvitsiotis to get a strike one swinging.
Swing and a miss at strike 2 now to Broderick. She's grounded out twice today, once to the pitcher, once to second. She also grounded to short, but reached on the throwing error. Now a meeting of the Timberwolf minds. Green Wave will take the opportunity to have a chat at the circle. Exciting finish shaping up here, James, in a battle of the Titans.
A great way to cap off a beautiful Friday afternoon here at Beaverbrook Elementary School.
No balls, 2 strikes to Nora Broderick. Shannon Varvitsiotis trying to get out of the jam. Fouled off. The count will remain 0-2. The 0-2 from Shannon Varvitsiotis is just high, ball 1. The 1-2 now to Broderick. Strike 3 over the inside corner. 5th strikeout of the day for Shannon Varvitsiotis, James. And that is a massive out to give the Green Wave 2 on the inning. The Timberwolves down to their last chance. It will be the designated player, Brookie Arena, who is 0 for 3. A fly out to right. That was the great diving catch by Caden Lynch back in the second inning. Also grounded to the pitcher and to second base. Ground ball to Varvitsiotis. The throw to first in time. The Rebels strand 3 in the top of the 7th, James. The Green Wave escape a 1-out bases loaded jam and will take the dub here today.
That was a great job by Shannon Varvitsiotis. She did what she's done all season for the Green Wave, and that's just pitch efficiently, pitch effectively down the stretch. They loaded the bases with 1 out. She had a huge strikeout over the inside part of the plate to get Nora O'Brien looking. And then the final out of the game, ground ball right to her. She finished it off, and the Green Wave were able to come away with a hard-fought 3-2 victory.
What a battle. This one was fun to watch, James, from wire to wire. The chess match. 5 strikeouts for Varvitsiotis, who threw 14 of them yesterday. She comes back strong. The Green Wave had the difference maker. It was the 3rd run of the day. That was scored by Brenna Howley, the RBI single from Gabby Hockney. 3-2 the final. The Green Wave defeat the Walpole Timberwolves and improve to 6-1 on the year. The Timberwolves, will fall to 5-1. On behalf of everyone here at Abington Community Access and Media, I want to thank our cameraman, Dave Bowen, for bringing you the sights and sounds from the Beaverbrook Elementary School today. On behalf of my broadcast partner, Dr. James Madden, I'm Mad Dog Matt Nelson. We will see you next game.